Hey my people, what's going on? This is Major TV. Let's talk. Supporting a movement without legs. We're gonna talk about that. Supporting a movement without legs. Sorry again, I'm under the engine. Doing my thing, trying to get that bag, driving this big truck. You know what I do. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and do the channel notification button. Subscribe button. I drop content often. Again, support the movement without legs. There is a movement that has been waged against another movement, right? And this movement is black people need to stand down, talking about being legally owned and demanding rights. Versus a movement that's saying become legally owned and fight for your rights. The first movement without legs believe in the old way of doing things. They believe that pray to the Most High. You do what you gotta do to survive. It's gonna be alright. They push black empowerment and other things that the other movement support. But it has no legs. Because they have no answer to the police violence involved in our community. They have no answer to dealing with the real problem that's affecting black people, which is racism. On top of the fact that we've been willfully ignorant, naive, and brainwashed. This movement without legs, believe that every time somebody do something where it involves some kind of situation where you are armed legally, that's a problem. People being called mentally ill because they're forming militias. People call nasty names. People are being exploited and slandered and exploited. And in my own opinion, for views, likes, and money. That movement is a movement to try to destroy anything that stands against the power structure that movement allegedly claimed to be against and criticized, but yet criticize someone who legally, under the U.S. Constitution, exercised their right to be armed and form militia. But it's crazy that black people can do it, but white people can do it. It's crazy for black people to do it, but when white people do it, it's alright. And because of the color of your skin, you should not get out your place, because you can get killed. What is that to me? To me, in my honest opinion, that's cowardice. That's being scared. Black people die faster than anybody per population, percentage-wise. Black people being killed not for being in a movement, fight for rights. It's exciting everyday rights, of just being American citizen or human. They are being targeted, oppressed, excluded, secluded, targeted, and being killed for not standing up overall for the rights of the people, not saying they didn't believe in fairness for black people, but just driving and walking black, barging your home. We have too many cases where queens been humiliated and disrespected, running their homes. Kings being disrespected, even killed, running homes. And what the message we get? We get a simple apology, right? After media already told lies went all into those black people's background and talked about them, their family, and their neighborhood, ain't said nothing about the person that was involved, the white person that was involved. Your black people down on faster rate than we can imagine in the 21st century. What is going on, my people? This is what's going on. Some black people are taking positions just because they can do that. You gotta realize we all have mouths and we have opinions, just like assholes, right? And I always say is a quote: the right to speak should be reserved to someone who has something to say. A lot of times we don't be having nothing to say. We just have become debatable. Anything can be debatable. Even anything can be debated. Not debatable, but be debated, right? Without no legs to stand on. Either because they just believe in this certain ideology or belief, right? And then the funny part, a lot of these sisters and brothers are those who speak against other movements that have no legs. They movement have no legs. They go to biblical, Quranic, and other scriptures and ancient books that clearly have wars in it. That clearly show why some people stood up. History, excluding that we even deal with even spiritual texts, a scroll. History has shown nations have risen up. This movement without legs has become a tyrant, has become evil, has become detrimental to the race for justice, the race for true liberation, because it decided to take on other organizations supposed to mind their own businesses, but address the situation about people that's in real movements making a difference. Now, I'm not saying any movement without legs haven't probably touched some souls, but where have they led them souls to? What have they done to really propel black people elevate to the next level? See, we think when black people become legally armed, we think when black people go speaking their mind and give all the smoke, the unfiltered, that like in how America would classify you a militant, you're a rebel. Those words come from the government, from America. We feel like this is the worst people, we feel like this is the baddest people. And guess what we do? We get right behind the government and we do what? Go at these brothers and sisters. What happened to minding your business? What happened to staying in your lane? You're not saving no movement when you're talking down a movement that is inspiring, elevating people. Black people have been inspired. They've really been inspired by what Jim J have done. They've really been inspired. How you've touched black media. How you touched black people and organizations. How you made the conversation uncomfortable for us to talk about militias and gun clubs. Talk about being armed and protecting our community and taking back our community. Talk about fighting against the powers that be and demanding rights. What was wrong with that? You know what was wrong with that? You didn't come up with it. Or you couldn't do it. But you have the guts and nerve to do it. You have to give due justice where it is. But that same person that you laughed or said whatever about is right now facing state and federal criminal charges, bogus charges. We gotta understand what's going on. All this division, talking down each other, expressing publicly to the public, to the powers that be. You disagree with somebody and speak the same. I keep using an example. There's a black store down the street and needs some construction did, needs some labor, needs some donations, needs to put products in it, need people to work to serve the community. I want to go on a bike. Right, he want to go on the bus. Pam want to go in the car. Almighty want to go on the Greyhound. Neil want to go in the Uber. We fussed about how we get down into that store, off that store. We fussed about it. It don't damn matter. Just get to the store. It don't matter. It makes no sense. With all the history, just being in this country, not long we go back to the motherland. All went on in the motherland. Because I will always shout the motherland over in and everything. That's where everything started. You ain't gonna bring me nowhere but the motherland first. All the chaos and how the motherland been flipped, been watered down, been unearthed, been covered up, been brainwashed, been used and abused, raped, all above. We can go as far as back as that. When you look at the big picture, as long as we fought against each other, we didn't get fought. When we came together, things happened. See, they want to give Abraham Lincoln all the credit for freeing the slave, but they don't want to talk about a slave rebellion. They don't want to talk about slave rebellion. They don't want to talk about slave was really at the end of its time. It was expiring because why? Industrial age was kicking in. The North wasn't making no money off the crops, off slavery and things, because why? They land couldn't harvest crops because of the bad weather. We don't talk about that. They were forced to sign it. And then you had the neo-slavery, post-slavery. And then you had the Jim Crow and everything else, right? And the neo-Jim Crow and what have you. But we know systematically, we talking about institutional racism and racism. People say it doesn't exist. Some people ignorantly say that, particularly black people. We know white people. Other groups say that, right? We know they sit down and created all kind of laws. They just sit down. It's in the books. This stuff in the books right now that's definitely associated with Jim Crow. The what hurt black people. This is not a joke. And then police have been given way more power. Way more power than we can imagine to do what they do. They have a license to kill. Who are they killing? Y'all black people. But now because black people speaking up, exercising the Second Amendment, ain't having it. And shout out to Bro Ozone for what they trying to do this brother. You know? No proof of anything going on with him. But Ozone represents many black men and women that have been through that, whether they got killed or not. There was some form of rights being violated, as well as targeted and possible abuse and harassment. Even though we know there's a big movement growing for Ozone, this happens all the time. This movement with our legs is a movement that have no real progression and the old way of thinking about how to fight back. See, we want to be spiritual. So we want to lead. See, we want to say we're down with the Most High. and we're doing the work of the Most High. We don't look at scripture-wise, ancient-wise, historical-wise. People stood up. And then they kind of read, you know what I'm talking about. There will be blood. There will be people killed, incarcerated, silent, going in asylum, political asylum. You know, it's going to go down. What we thought happened throughout post-slavery, we keep talking about Black Wall Street. Red Summer in 1919, it was like 5, 6, 7 major cities was under attack by white communities and the government. We keep talking about things that we already know. We don't want to talk about a lot of things that has happened. Why you think the Black Power movement took off in the 60s? After all the black people had built, the white community threw it, destroyed it, along with the help of the government. And it was giving all these promises. They literally ran black people out the rural areas to the urban areas. And whites did their job and brought to the suburban areas and created suburbs. We keep on talking about, oh, we need black, we need to do our own thing. We need to be black and in power. We need not work for the white man. But none of us out here creating, none of us are not realizing that when we say these things, we have to have action plan in place for our people to follow. As far as how to make money, how to get a job. Can we get them a job that's working for a black person or a person of color? You know, it's real talk. We talk about this because a lot of times we say things. And we be gradually brainwashing, manipulating our people, believing because it's be easy saying, you know how hard to start a business? That's hard. It's not just selling products. You gotta know you have to make sure you have the right legal structure. You have to make sure you keep up with your taxes and whatever. You have to make sure you got your financials, your balance sheet, your income statement, your cash flow statement up to par. This is not a game, y'all. And then you gotta know how to supervise and manage people and also have customer service involved. And I'm just talking about the tip of the iceberg. But we have to stop making it sound as simple for all the stuff we tell our people to do without us making sure we can guide them. Not literally words. Create organization groups to go in the community. I keep saying we gotta do like Joe Winners do. We gotta go door to door sometime. We gotta make it happen. Too many times we want to talk about it. We want to get behind, joke, laugh. We want to make music about it. But at the end of the day, we have to do our part. And guess what? Kudos to those who are doing their part, right? And as you build, you share other communities, or even start other communities to start doing it. But it's not about how much I do versus how much you do. You know, it's about us just doing the job and doing it righteously for the people, not for ourselves, not for our ego, not for no views, likes, and money. This is real. We need to stop talking down on each other. Each cause this focus. All of us are not about being armed legally. All of us are not about putting boots on the ground in certain ways. But you can do other things behind the scenes. Nobody should be excluded. But it makes no sense. You'll be fighting among each other. We publicly talking about each other. We're talking too much in the public. And it makes no sense to say we're an organization. But at the same time, organization for people, but at the same time, we publicly criticize other groups and what have you. I speak more like, look, I don't deal with such and such an organization. I wish them the best. But why you don't deal with political differences? That's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving. I don't know if you should say that. I'm just giving something out there and just spilling all the beans. You know what I'm saying? Our people been used and abused. We gave so much money away. We did so much. We still giving so much money away. Still blowing so much money. We complain about our people getting used and blah. Our people been getting used. I'll be big and taken advantage of. We haven't even let nothing come to fruition yet. We haven't even let nothing really come to life or even make accusations like we make. We make blind, bone accusations, not even waiting to see what happens. But do we need to donate each other? Hell yeah. We'll be screwed to the hell yeah. No organization can't survive without the people. So I just want to just get that out of my mental because I'm just tripping on the fact that there's some movement with no legs. They got so much to say about other movement with legs that's really doing something. Sad part about it, right? Jim J is on the house arrest. He has been told certain things he can and can't do, right? So we know he's not as vocal. We know he hasn't done formation in a minute. But look at the spirit of what he did travels through me and you. And to other people that we don't even know. Look how global. They got people from Africa every so often pop up in my mentions, in my chats, live chats and mentions or comments and videos like, hey, I'm from such Africa. I just seen somebody say they were from Africa, right? Had an abbreviation. But and they spoke highly about this brother, how they miss monumental and factual feelings. And the spirit just lives in us, right? Just because we see hope. Now you got gun clubs and militias everywhere, right? But instead we stay as one city, we stay focusing on the common goal and the common enemy, right? Uplifting the people, liberating the people. We doing what? Talking down each other and going each other. God won't bless no people or no one if we bring evil in the movement. If we bring negativity in the movement. It's just sad to see what's going on. Look, I'm gonna show you how God works. Now here you have Jim J on the legal situation. And you have Bro Ozone going to the situation we going through in Florida. You know, exonerate both brothers. Where you got Kwame Brown exposing on a massive level the media and plus blacks in the media. And I'm not just talking about television or what, I'm talking about social media, everything. He's telling people how to put boots on the ground. You may always not agree with him about certain things he said, people he criticized, but a lot of them had it coming to him. It was a matter of time. Look what Kwame Brown is doing. Look how he has touched so many people. This brother is opening up his world to black people to come through lives and express themselves. This brother got all kinds of stuff that he got set up, about to reach the people, which he already doing a great job. He done brought Devin George on. I mean, a great example of a brother who put boots on the ground, building communities. That was a former NBA player, but was not a star. You know what I'm saying? Which is a good player that played a team role. But now he's seeing Devin George. He was seeing more doing what he do now for the community, playing basketball. You gotta pick out fight. You gotta get behind it. You know, look how Kwame come out there. And there's others that's coming out there and speaking. Black meat on the road, y'all. I'm loving it. But see, those who constantly think the only way we can win is about attacking each other, fighting against each other, trying to dispose death by each other. You got something coming to you. Most I can deal with you. You are not perfect. I am not perfect. None of us are perfect. God balance everything by good and bad. Man and woman, how they go up and down is balance. Time for peace, time for war. Time for love, time for hate. Time to be happy, time to be sad. It's balance. You have to understand this. So look, this major TV. Just wanted to hide the people. Just wanted to just vibrate with y'all. I know energy was kind of high, a little loud. I wasn't emotional. Probably a little emotional. They can say, well, hey, man, listen. But I love my people. And I'm an old head, so I grew up, you know what I'm saying, kind of rough in New Orleans housing projects. And there was a form of respect and code. The code wasn't always honored. Sometimes the streets really messed up the way how things went in. It was a lot of BS, but some of it was good. And I look at people that's talking today, they're older, they're not young. And to see how they flipped it and rearranged how things should be did and say, it says for the people. But from what I seen, I ain't seen people, black people get killed in the Black Power movement. I mean, lately in this people excited to see the memory and what have you. I see information, whatever. I ain't seen nobody get killed or go to jail or the GMJ, what happened to Ozone, right? I see people are tired of suffering and all this talking and less doing, and then expecting overnight something happen or thinking, because I say this is supposed to just be like that. No. We have to put boots on the ground and live by example, not by words. I have no problem you disagree with somebody. I have no problem you have opinion. Every problem when you have opinions with an S. Opinions. When you constantly saying something about something or someone constantly, not having no real legs to stand on. It's a cause without legs. You know what I'm saying? A move without legs. Just talking. Yeah, you're gonna people that agree with you, gonna feel like you're right. And I'm cool with it. But then you have a whole lot of people that don't agree with you. And that's called life, right? When you go on a campaign, going after individual, an organization, or anyone, in this time and day, it makes no sense. The powers that be is watching, they're listening. It's a matter of time before you put all of us in cuffs and we don't get our stuff together. But knock all of us off. I'm just talking to my people. I'm just talking. Thank you for 2 great lives. Really appreciate it Wednesday and Thursday. I really appreciate love and support, donation. Please keep supporting the channel. Please keep commenting. And please keep making noise. Black people, you know what's fair. You know what's right. Maybe you read, you listen, you observe, you've been through something. You know what's fake and what's not. I want to further give all praise to the Most High. I want to thank you for this day. Thank you for opportunities around me. Thank you for having the ability to just say something to people. If you're listening, always give thanks to the Most High. Understand your fight, just being you, is hard. Your fight, just want to get better for your family, is hard. Your fight, want to liberate your people, is hard. But as long as you're guarding your life, you're positive thinking, you're exercising basic survival means, rights, can take you far ways. Start with us first. Having our stuff together. And then we should spread. We should spread those vibrations to all our people. We need to elevate our people's consciousness. We need to show through example. We need to do. Everybody want to agree with you, but that's cool. That's called life. What's important, you're doing your part. Y'all stay focused, stay on code, just be black.